Good morning. It's October, I think, 26th. This is Deb Helfrich, and this is take 2 of my Dave Chappelle challenge. Dave, I think we're comedy soulmates. And what I believe that means is that we should examine whether it makes a hell of a spectacle to stand united as extremes during the whole 2020 election cycle. Let's not make jokes about the crap that's going on. Let's make jokes about how good it could be, how different it could be when black men and white women, such as you and I, can just stand on a stage and really dissect intellectually what the hell's going on. Now, in order for the Chappelle Challenge to even get started, you're very famous for smoking on stage, and I can honor that. But I lost my entire 40s as a hermit to secondhand smoke. So I know you're a kind, caring man, and when you see how we might really connect and then really be able to talk through all kinds of shit, let me do a little set for you. Because see, you will give up cigarette smoking for me, and I'll decide, hey, I need to give up something equivalent, right? A nice little categorical thing that's, white, tiny, cylindrical, papery. So I'll stop sucking white dicks. It's not like I'm giving up chocolate or anything important. But also, as somebody addicted to food, I understand the addiction you might have to tobacco. And so I got a solution. I've got a way that you and I can basically consume. We're just going to vaporize cannabis up on the stage during our sets in the legal states. Because see, it comes down to this. I'm a white lady, and I have a constitutional right to essential oil any damn space I please. Well, I also understand white privilege, and that means that no feds are going to come for me in the Pacific states if I'm enjoying a little bit of cannabis. But you must be completely dissociated from my conspicuous consumption. So, I have a solution. We're just going to masking tape down the center of the stage. All right, I hear the grumbles in the audience. But no, really, there's precedent. I'm just simply taking a page from the white man's handbook. Think about it. Think about how they've gerrymandered so many voting districts. Stealing like entire, more than one presidential elections with that shit. How do you manage to do that? White masking tape. See, it'll stick when you want to separate things, and it'll peel right the fuck back off when you want to hide your misdeeds. So, all right. Here's the deal. I had lots of jokes, lots of really, really crazy funny jokes that come right into the heart of what's wrong in this country and let me talk about living an anti-racist life for 33 years, given the fact that the first 17 were in an entirely homogeneously white community. The Tiki Torch Whites in Ohio, they created this person who needed to live to 50 in order to become fearless in just speaking her mind, which is pretty damn loving. See, I want to work on a ticket that has nothing to do with great again. That is such a lie. My ticket is we need to make America humane for the very first time. And that starts with kicking racism to the curb through love and science. The science of melanin is really crucial to just going skin to skin. And the reason there are such extremes of color is because that's what evolution wants. And evolution is intelligence. So we can't go up against any evolution deniers. Why would we want to? But most of the country are just seriously confused adults. They're being marketed to and internet posted at from life coaches, and nobody can think clearly. But I'm a philosopher, a well-being philosopher, to be quite specific. And I know the power of Socratic dialogue. It takes two to make a thing go clear. It takes seeing two extremely different kinds of people who will not talk down to their audience, who will hold their audience accountable for being fucking ignorant when they are. So here's an example. Here's a great bit. I imagine somewhere on the internet there'll be a hubbub. Deb proposes to two NBA legends in the same night. You see, because once we start hanging out, I'm going to have access to Chappelle-curated crowds at the club. Sure enough, I'm going to see Allen Iverson, Scottie Pippen one night. And I will take a knee, honoring each of them the moment we are introduced. Those two men are world-class, best in breed, perhaps greatest ever basketball players. And we can't have that discussion because of one incident each. That the media blew out of fucking proportion because of racism. They are who they are. A little bit more country, a little bit more urban than Michael Jordan, so they didn't qualify as being polished enough for a clear instance. The practice situation and Scotty's deal, getting angry at Phil, wanting to be in the end of the game. These were demonstrations of how much they wanted to win basketball games. Were they the polished, optimal PR person? No. But it was truth. And because they were not the sort of black men that America wanted to support, their careers, their legacies, it is impossible to understand how crucially those two men contributed to the success of their team. I just want to say, I got many millions of knees to take to explain how I see the world in loving support of very many black men whose lives are not what they should be because they can't even really go to a convenience store anymore. How do we have a whole category of men who can help really create the future of this country in so much cognitive dissonance? I cannot imagine what it takes to go through a day as a black man. And I want to stop that because I love many black men, and it really absolutely hurts me to think about the way our society has treated them. So, a little funny joke. This is a jokey joke, right? There's only one name for the weight class that the Tiki Torch whites created within me during my childhood. And the weight class is Shaquille O'Neal. And Charles Barkley, right the fuck after retirement, right when he blew up like a beach ball, I swear Kenny Smith had to have been lobbing him mozzarella sticks during all the intermissions because he got large. So those are the numbers that I put up myself in the weight class. And it really took this going, what I had to say is so unique that my whole life people just didn't quite get how astutely funny I am. And so here's the thing, Shaq, Chuck, Holler. Because now I brought y'all up, it is clear to me that you're really probably the only two NBA legends I got a shot against in horse. So look, I get 5 jump shots on y'all. Let's set up a charity. Let's work with this anti-racism thing. Let's figure out how to ensure no more of our kids ever get taught there's differences that are not scientifically based about extremes of skin color. All right, so I'm going to stand on stage with Dave Chappelle. There's going to have to be an N-word challenge. Now, myself, I don't really even like saying it that way. What I say is the NWA word. Express yourself. Maybe a little sample. People get used to that. So the NWA word is how Deb will speak about such atrocities. And she can understand how white people sort of get themselves in a very bad place of sort of even asking permission. No, 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 no. It can't be done, white people. It's not your word. I don't care how much it seems like you make it obvious that you can use that word, you can't. We all understand words have different contexts based on who's speaking them. Bad. If the person's over 50, they probably mean bad. If they're in around 50, they probably mean Michael Jackson fresh. And I don't know what all really kids would mean. Probably just bad again. I don't know. We put the context together. And the context is the NWA word only belongs to people with a lot of melanin. They can transmute it. You who were the oppressors to begin with, it's a word of oppression. So stay away. But a lot of the thing is, it's not an intellectual want. It's a falling in with the real rhythm of friends. And when you start respecting friends and you start having discussions, you call and repeat certain parts of language. So how am I going to stand on a stage with this brother speaking his truth 555 times an hour coming out his mouth? Might I not just slip just in the flow of conversation? It's a actual challenge, America. Hashtag never NWA word. Tune in, see. And if I do slip, I will be held accountable. Dave Chappelle right here. He's the judge and jury, right? If I slip in, it's just part of the act. We bring it up and we say, no more. But if it comes out and it seems like I'm actually using the word, it won't. But I could. And I will be held accountable. Now, if I was a white man, I'd be offered to shave my hair. And we all know that's not going to happen. So, Chappelle's even in charge of what the atonement might be. That's pretty damn fearless for a white lady, eh? I am. Because America is in desperate straits. The chaos that we're in and the ways in which we've constrained how we can have adult grown-folk discussions, there's no fixing it unless we come together and unite extremes and do radical things. All right, one last little bit. I think one of the ways we all get back to fixing this is instituting practice fucks. Yes, I am dead serious. When I watch the media today and I see young people, it's all whatever. It's just sex. No big deal. No emotions. No long-term contracts negotiated. It is simply just a physical act. Well, in my mind, we should all be practice fucking. Because when we are ready to conceive an actual human life, we need to be in Olympic form. And so if we pull this apart and say, whatever the society says, we're all due a nice quantity of practice fucks to get ready for this really important, crucial thing of perpetuating the species and doing it with love and care with somebody who we know well enough to ensure that we can in some way, shape, or form orbit each other for the next 18 years, whether that's as direct parents and partners or as the people who are guiding this new life. We get to that by not being whatever about sex, but seeing it all as practice fucking. And Dave Chappelle wrapped that bit up by helping you a little bit with your tranny situation. I want to mention, not a single damn one of us is strictly binary. And another problem, Dave, you and I actually see similarly is Cosby. Bill Cosby. I got a bit that I want to do to acknowledge the hurt of the actual women he has trespassed against and his responsibility to be held accountable. But there's also this father of America in the late 80s situation that when those of us who are just TV fans, we're taking away the real spotlight that needs to be on the actual victims and putting our victimhood into this perspective of vengeance. No. Restorative justice. I have a way to look at Bill Cosby that can unite all of us who were parented by him in one way or another in the 80s. So, I'm going to leave you hanging on that bit. I hope you've seen a little bit of my style and how I really want to come right up to all that's so controversial. and give a way to think about it with love. Give a way to think about how can we unite as extremes to make America humane again. Chappelle Challenge, Dave Chappelle, I love you. And I think there's really something that could be done here in us working together. So, holler, 202-487-7818. I look forward to hearing from you.